everybody. Welcome to episode number 6 of the 814 Sports Report. That's Logan Lepiscopo. I'm Chris Sohl. And Logan, nothing better to start with. And I'm sorry if you haven't seen yet, if you haven't noticed, Gannon men's basketball, national champions for the first time in school history, any varsity team. They're the first to do it. Just what a magical, it's tough to even pick a place to start at this point.
Yeah, I mean, a great place to start is 2 years ago, or I guess 3 years ago, when Easton Bozzoli was hired as an assistant, eventually moved into the head coaching role. Since he's been a part of Gannon, they've won 93 games. They've lost 13 as a head coach, fastest ever to 50 wins in program history. Elite 8 as an assistant coach, Sweet 16 year 1, now a national championship. Of course, people have also seen the news of all the players that are going to be unfortunately leaving this team. I know a lot of Golden Knights fans were hoping, just run it back. We got the whole group will be there. Yeah. Just run it back. I mean, with this current state of how college sports is with the portal and NIL, can I say I blame them? No. But it would have been nice to see this team run it back. And Chris, you got to be there in person to witness the moment. Just talk to me about, number one, the atmosphere. A lot of Gannon fans came out, but number two, it just seemed like we talked about last week, you give Easton Bozzoli 8 or 9 days to prep, and he's going to make it a hard game for you.
Yeah, Logan, it's tough to find any place to begin, really, because obviously you're there doing a job, but when you're there in an atmosphere like this, it's a big pinch-me moment, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, super grateful that we were able to go. Huge thank you to our sponsors. Again,
the only media team in Erie to go.
Shout out. So it's truly Bethesda Lutheran Services, Quickfill, Erie International Airport. Your guys' support made this trip possible. Yeah, Logan, we were the only people there from Erie. And just where to even begin? First of all, the city of Indianapolis is absolutely beautiful. A city that I don't think is talked about enough.
Yeah. But
with all the things to do, a lot of history there. It's the racing capital of the world. And just the people there are passionate sports fans. Also super cool, you have Lucas Oil Stadium where the real Final Four, the men's Division I, that was there. We got to check that out. And then down at Cambridge was our Gannon Golden Knights. But as soon as we kind of entered the city, just the buzz around, talking to even local business owners and residents of the area, just the influx of tourism and money and just an energy in the city, was super cool to be around. But in terms of the game, Logan, tip-off was at 1. We got there about 10 a.m., and there's already Gannon fans out the wazoo waiting in line.
We love to see it.
We were lucky enough to grab some of them at the 11:30 show on Sunday, which was super cool. But, this team was just confident from the start. We were just talking to Mason Kemp a little while ago, and I asked him, I was like, when did you guys really realize that not only were you going to be a good team, right? Winning has been part of Gannon's culture for several years now. But when did you realize you were really going to be able to not only get to, but win a national championship? And he's like, pretty early in the season. Like this group was really special. We've gone on and on about how special a guy Easton Bozzoli is, the relationship he has with the players, the buy-in he gets from that. But incredible environment to be on the national stage in Cambridge Fieldhouse. You're playing on the Pacers court, just the energy.
It's
and then my favorite part was just the post-game press conference. Walking in there, you got all the guys coming in. It's like, it's a very serious professional thing, but just the excitement, the energy, these guys ready to celebrate. The whole team packs in the press conference room. They're asking to get on the stage.
That's great.
But just an incredible thing. And even more special, a Catholic university in Gannon gets to hoist basketball's greatest trophy on Easter Sunday. Just what a special culmination of a season for Gannon. And what more can you say about Easton Bozzoli, man? I mean, he's 30 years old. In his second year, he's a national champion. All this stuff online about who's going where and guys getting the love they deserve. Just for my first year in Erie, just an epic coverage, from Pittsburgh to Indianapolis, just the entire culmination of all the games leading up. It was really special.
Yeah, I think it's funny that you mentioned Mason Kemp saying early on they realized it. Precious Idiaru, he told me when we sat down a couple weeks ago, he said that, Coach Easton said from the get-go, before we even had a practice, that this could be a national championship team. And, when you had people move in and out from last year's roster that made it to the Sweet 16, you've got questions. If they can keep it up, can the roster continue to turn over? If you're wondering why we are dressed up, we just spoke Mason Kemp, Victor Desmond, Jaden Calloway, our John Leidick spoke with Easton Bozzoli, just kind of wrapping up the season. But yeah, the other thing I would take away is that the brotherhood was what Pace Prosser said after that game on CBS. He said, this is truly a brotherhood. A lot of people will say it, but like they live by it. Precious told me like they're out.
No guy wants
together.
the credit. Coach Bozzoli doesn't want the credit.
Too.
Every time I ask Coach, he's the first former Whitfield player to win a D1 or D2 title alongside John Calipari. I ask him that, and of course, I'm not John Calipari. I don't deserve any of the credit. I'm blessed to have these players, blessed to have Coach Bozzoli. So nobody wants to take credit, and that just kind of goes back to that special brotherhood, camaraderie, and buy-in they have.
Yeah, Pace Prosser, it definitely will be missed here in Gannon. 1,000 points, All-American.
2 years.
Wielded the team, 28 points, 11 rebounds in the championship game. But you had to have seen it coming. I was expecting it after his freshman year last year. Like, you could tell the talent was there.
This kid's on a different level.
Yeah, and now to see what he did, not only on the national championship game, but throughout the PSAC tournament, the Atlantic Regional, the Elite Eight, Final Four, like the biggest stages, he continued to show up. And
showed up maybe even bigger than he did in the regular season.
Yeah, and I'll say, like, whatever NIL deal he gets, it's much deserved. And I can't say I blame him with the amount of money that's going around as well.
Well, Logan, you got to also remember that as these players are highlighted, they show up, they're transferring out to bigger and better things. But how many guys do you think are going to want to come play for Coach Bozzoli?
Why wouldn't you? He's a 30-year-old national championship coach.
We're talking to him. He's a super cool guy. I mean, super laid back, obviously super business when it comes to basketball and his recruiting. He said the number one thing he looks for is just the competitiveness and the buy-in, which I think speaks for itself about what we saw this year. But how many dudes who are balling out in lower D2 or maybe high D3 are going to say, I want to come to Gannon. I want to come to a school where I can play basketball, get a great education. And the people of Erie, man, we can't say it enough. Coach Bozzoli and the players can't say it enough. The fans, the way they travel, it's not just alumni. It's the local people to Erie who want to support this team. And there can't be any more mojo for Gannon men's basketball right now. And I'm excited to see the players moving on like Pace Prosser, what they're able to do, but also the guys they bring in to add to this lineup as well.
Yeah, you got Pace Prosser, Lucas Sikoski both hitting the portal. I sat down with Jaden Calloway. I'm really excited to see. Right now, he's in line to be one of the starting guards for Gannon next year. Obviously, names will come in and maybe some more names will go out. We don't know. But I thought he played really well this year as a true freshman, got really solid minutes. Obviously, a lot of people probably look towards the loss against Cal U. He had a foul on a three-point play, essentially costing them the game. But the way he bounced back, the way that he didn't let that get him down, he was third on the team in steals as a freshman and wasn't a starter, got maybe 15, 20 minutes a game, and to be third in steals, like he's what Easton Bozzoli wants. He wants a defensive, focused guy that can also make you miserable on offense.
Oh, he can score, Logan, because after the IUP regional game, we're walking out with the IUP coach, and he's talking about, number 5 on the scout was not supposed to be able to hit threes, and we didn't respect him. What does he do? He hits 3 or 4 threes, and was huge for that. Just a super athletic guy. And it doesn't matter who Bozzoli brings in, because one thing is clear. Gannon, the way they play basketball, it doesn't matter who you are buying into their system, and that's how they find success.
I was going to say, that's also a thing, like when it comes to scouting. You mentioned guys will want to come and play for Gannon. Can you handle the Gannon way of basketball?
And that's made very clear to you. We had in the press conference a social media channel just asking about so many people are intrigued by the way Gannon plays basketball, because there truly was not another team that could stop the way they played or played similar. The constant up and down, full court pressure, aggressive defense, so many turnovers forced. It's truly unique, and this accomplishment, what they've done this season, is going to last a lifetime, and hopefully they can continue to build off of it.
And to see, Gannon basketball be escorted by police
in and out of the city,
through
everywhere they
the
go.
city of Erie is just absolutely incredible.
Vic's like, we got everywhere in 30 seconds, man. We got to the stadium, we got to the arena super quick.
Yeah, but to just see the outpour of support from the community also for that event. Kids coming on the floor, getting things signed by Pace Prosser and the other players, and just getting pictures, being able to experience that, like, you don't get that just all the time. Like, this is, I'm not going to say once in a lifetime, because Easton Bozzoli has just shown in 2 years I'm capable of getting a team to a national championship. So maybe not once in a lifetime, but it's a lifetime moment that, like,
lifetime of memories.
yeah,
for sure.
you don't want to, people ask, where were you when Gannon won a national championship? You don't want to say, when? Who? I was in Erie and didn't care about it.
Yeah.
Like, years down the road, when you and I are, out of our careers, grandchildren and stuff, like,
we will remember where we were.
What's a highlight of your career? Covering Gannon on their way to a national championship.
Yeah.
Like, we've covered the NFL, the MLB, the NHL, but, like, I think this is probably one of the most, like, memorable moments, or, like, moments of coverage where I've, like, felt the most joy that they got to where they were.
Yeah, covering the NFL is a gift, and it's I almost look at it as like a delicacy. Whereas we put so much time and effort into Gannon because they're 5 minutes around the corner.
Yeah.
So to see the team that we spend hours upon hours of covering, interviewing, to see them get to the mountain peak is just truly fantastic. But it was a busy week last week. I was off in Indy.
Yep.
You were here for the Erie SeaWolves home opener. Another passionate fan base, another excited team, another winning team who's had a lot of success. So, I got to see a little bit of it, but what was the energy like? How are the SeaWolves faithful doing on opening day?
Well, opening day, over 4,000 packed out UPMC
go.
Park. And they got their money's worth in that game. A 7-6 final, a comeback win. You can't ask for much better than that. Obviously, the rest of the weekend did not go as they had hoped for, but it's early in the season. The way that the Eastern League works, if you suck the first half, you got a chance to make up for it in the second half. So I think the number one concern, I would say, as SeaWolves fans, 3 straight years, getting to the championship game, the pitching has not looked incredible.
Yeah.
Like, second game of the season, that Saturday against Richmond, they were 3 pitchers in 2 innings.
Yikes.
Your starter didn't get through a full frame. Your second guy couldn't get through a full frame. Like, that's definitely something to be concerned about, that early having to have bullpen games.
Yeah, when you have a lot of young guys on a team, you're going to have to rely on some of those older guys. I mean, Carlos Pena's already up to AAA now, but some of the older bats, John Peck has done a good job so far. They had a dramatic win the other day, being down, I think, 8-1, 8-2. They come back, they score all these unanswered runs. But baseball is a long season for a reason, right?
Yes,
the majors are 162 games. I believe AA is 138, so plenty of time left to turn it around. But exciting stuff is obviously baseball. Gannon is now done. Basketball is over, but baseball right in the thick of it.
I was going to say, my one player I would highlight from that opening series against Richmond would be Andrew Jenkins. Plays first base. In 2 games, he had 6 runs driven in.
Yep.
He had a 3-run homer opening night, had a bases clearing triple in the second game. Like, he's been a pretty solid bat for them. So I think there's definitely the bright spots to look forward to. And, new manager, ton of new players in. It's going to take time to mesh together. Not everybody can be like Easton Bozzoli and knit a bunch of guys with nothing in common together and get them to a national championship in a year.
Yeah,
So,
it definitely takes time. Logan, before we get to the upcoming sports season, quickly, I don't know how much you watch, but just the NCAA Final Four, Michigan obviously wins the title.
Duke and UConn, man.
Yeah.
What a finish was that game.
That was incredible. Chase Mullins with the dagger 3 to bring Hurley and the Huskies. And that game, that national championship game, super competitive throughout. I think everybody kind of saw Michigan as the juggernaut all season long, blowing teams out, absolutely dominant. I mean, they crushed Arizona who was looked at as this Goliath team,
Yep.
and Michigan made them look like, a lesser competition. Being another cool part about being in Indy was actually going to Lucas Oil and the fan experience, seeing how passionate these the Gannon guys were in a suite, and there's hundreds of thousands of people because it's a football stadium, obviously, so it's packed. They're all the way up there, and these fans are just body paint, crazy, crazy fans, but Michigan dominant. But UConn really held in there at the end.
Yeah, I was. It's funny because obviously I worked the weekends. I was sitting back here watching the end of the Duke-UConn game, and I watched the ball get poked loose, UConn take it, and then Mullins hit the three. And I'm not very an audible person when I'm watching sports. I'll give a good round of applause. I'm not a hooting and hollering guy. Lisa Adams hears me yelling from the back because of the shot that Mullins hit. But yeah, that was incredible. It's crazy that Duke just somehow, some way, always finds a way to fall short. But Michigan,
They haven't won since 2015, dude.
Yeah.
For a program like that, that's kind of a hard pill to swallow.
But Michigan, I think there was definitely an argument that they were the best team coming into the tournament. They certainly proved that. And, the Big Ten Conference, they're on top right now.
Yes.
National champions in football, national champions in basketball.
Speaking of the transfer portal, Michigan
Yeah.
starting five, the first in NCAA basketball history, all transfers. It's just the way that college basketball is transforming.
Got to work the portal.
Yeah.
Got to have the funds.
Yeah, the way college sports is changing is truly remarkable. It's very nice to get athletes being rewarded for the work they put in and the money they bring into their school, but it definitely makes it feel more like a pro team when you got guys chasing the bag.
Yeah,
But
March Madness didn't feel like much madness.
2 years
this
in a row
year.
of chalk, really, because you have last year, you have all 4 1 seeds get there. I think a lot of people thought Florida was kind of the favorite heading into the tournament. They win last year. Michigan, the heavy favorite this year, and they get it done. So college sports are definitely changing. All right, let's get to the pros. Coming up actually on your Sunday Sports Blitz, we went into depth talking about the defensive side of the NFL draft, and Logan will kind of rehash some of those points now. It's an edge-heavy draft. We have a lot of talented pass rushers, but a couple guys in the secondary that maybe people aren't talking enough about. Curious your thoughts on maybe some of the elite guys on the back end of the defense.
Yeah, we'll go in that secondary because I think there's a serious case for Jermon McCoy to be the first cornerback off the board. You mentioned on the Sports Blitz that tore his ACL, didn't play at all this past season, but tore up his pro day. If you didn't send a scout to Tennessee's pro day,
Yikes.
you're mad you didn't get to watch that in person. I think if you watch what Jermon McCoy put on tape in 2024, if he can be that same guy, and he showed he can be that same explosive, speedy guy in his pro day, if he can put that 2024 tape in with a whole year of rest off of football to get himself NFL ready, why not draft him over Mansour Delane? But Chris, Giants at 5, Mansour Delane, a hot topic right now.
He's interesting because, Logan, I feel like the kind of theme of this draft, as we were talking about with John Leidick, is there is a lot of talent in this draft. This is one of the deeper classes we've seen, but for a lot of these positions, we don't have true blue chip prospects. There is not a number one consensus edge rusher or a number one consensus corner or wide receiver. There is this A tier. There is no S tier play. It's A tier with a bunch of elite guys. So it's interesting because there's a lot of noise around this being a draft where maybe people look to move back, but everybody's going to kind of want to move back because it's really difficult to make a decision between two elite guys. Mansour Delane had a wonderful career at Virginia Tech, but he really took it up a step when he went to LSU. And if you know anything about the New York Giants, they couldn't really defend much of anything this year. And the secondary is particularly weak, right? Deonte Banks has turned into a nothing burger. He's been disastrous out there. So Mansour Delane, I think, is more of your press coverage, your true man-to-man island guy, wants to lock up the number one guy. I really like him out of LSU, a first-team All-American, an interesting pick there, but really a true balance between offense and defense in these first 10-ish picks so far.
Yeah, when you mentioned no blue chip, the only position I could think of is running back. Jeremiah Love is
his
miles ahead of any other
His
running
hype
back.
is really, it's making me, it's getting rid of a little bit of the Saquon Barkley PTSD, the hype that has surrounded Jeremiah Love.
Like, I can't lie to you. If the Raiders did not draft Ashton Genty last year, I would be content with trading out of one.
I thought you were going to say take it.
No, not at one. Trading out of one, just rocking the year with Kirk Cousins to add Jeremiah Love. I mean, I think he's going to come in and he's going to be like a Bijan Robinson, a Jahmyr Gibbs. He's going to take over the league right away.
What makes him so special? Because I am not the biggest college football fan. I haven't watched a lot. I know this dude's obviously a unit, but what is making this guy? Because you watch like a Saquon Barkley highlight reel, and it speaks for himself. What makes Jeremiah Love such a special prospect?
I just think it's the fact that we're in that we're in the motion of the NFL now. Similar to quarterback. It used to be a pocket passer league. Now everybody wants the next dual threat. Same thing with running backs. Everybody wanted a bruiser that's going to pound it up the middle, get 4 or 5 yards a carry. Now we want a guy that can be shifty, agile, top end speed, can catch the football.
Dude, I'm just looking at some of these edge rushers. Obviously, David Bailey, Arvell Reese, Ruben Bain. I mean, if you even want to throw Sonny Styles in there, some of these guys are your true big-time, big boy edge rushers, 6'5", 250 plus. Arvell Reese maybe a little bit smaller, maybe more of a linebacker, only 130 snaps rushing the passer. Ruben Bain is an absolute freak, so I'm just curious your thoughts on how we're kind of ranking these guys.
Yeah.
And who do you have maybe 1 through 3? What's your kind of read here?
I think number 1 is without a doubt Arvell Reese. I think he's going to go number 2 to the Jets, unless for whatever reason they trade out of that pick. But I think he is definitely the number 1 edge rusher. I'm a little hesitant to put Bailey at 2, but his sack production was absurd at Texas Tech. The concern is just him being able to get to stopping the run, His run stopping ability hasn't been one of his pluses heading into this. And then I'd probably put Bain at 3. So Reese, Bailey,
Bain. Interesting.
But I think another name that could sneak into the top 3 is Keldrick Folk. We talked on the Sunday Sports Blitz. I brought him up. He could be top 10. He could be outside the first round. That's where he's been mocked at. In December, just 4 months ago, he was projected top 10, 15 pick. Now we're in April 2027. About that range of picks. What's been the drop off? I don't really know. Freak athlete, ran sub 4.7 at 276 pounds. Pretty impressive stuff. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. But yeah, this edge rusher class really good. I even think down the board there's a lot of good talent. The thing that I think is scaring a lot of people though is the arm length. A lot of smaller, not NFL sized players that we've seen, like Cassius Howell. I think he's a really good edge rusher, but people are concerned about his arm length. Is he going to be able to get past those tackles and actually get hands on first? So that would be mine. Let's talk about safety, though. I think safety is another big position, and Caleb Downs, of course, headlining that room.
Yeah, outside of Jeremiah Love, maybe the truest prospect we have, but some of his measurables were not super impressive. Yeah. And I feel like, I don't know, Logan, has the hype died down a little bit with Caleb Downs?
A little bit.
I feel like in the past 2 weeks ago, I was like, if he's there with what John Harbaugh did with Kyle Hamilton, the way he likes to run his defense and having a safety like that, I was like, yeah, sign me up for the Caleb Downs stuff. But after some of the measurable stuff, obviously dealing with the injury a little bit, he said it's all right, but any type of injury news around the draft is never
good.
Is never a good thing, because obviously the player's going to come out and be like, I'm ready to go, coach, throw me in. But I don't know. He is a great player, borderline blue chip prospect, but there are some worries that I have with him, and safety is not a position similar to running back that I feel super confident with drafting within the top 5 of the draft.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like the measurables come off not as exciting because they're based on a stay high safety that's going to read the quarterback's every move, and that's just not what Caleb Downs is. I think a team looking for a safety like Kyle Hamilton, Nicky Minwari, I think that's what Caleb Downs is. He's a guy that comes down into the box, is a run stopper. I don't think that the label of safety is really accurate for him.
He's a football player.
I was going to say, like, he's a football player. Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. Like, you put him at linebacker, probably can match up well with the tight end. You bring him on a safety blitz off the edge, he's probably getting to the quarterback. So I do still agree that he is one of those players that's kind of surefire. You mentioned the injury, so we'll see if he drops at all. We saw last year, Will Johnson out of Michigan. He was projected first rounder, fell all the way to the second round to Arizona because of injury concerns. So it's a fun time, though. Couple weeks out, all the rumors are about to start, all the smoke screens.
Tweets are going to be dropping, player meetings are not going to go so well. We saw it with Shedeur Sanders. I mean, Mel Kiper, like his most hyped up prospect, falling all the way to the 5th round. But like a lot of stuff can change very quickly. Who was the guy who had the tweet leaked of him, doing something on like stuff can break and stuff can really change. But we will have full coverage, Logan.
Yes.
Hopefully going to be at all of the team's headquarters, getting some insider information. I'll hopefully be in Pittsburgh with Mike Ruzzi and Philip Ward, talk to some of the fans. But real quick, we got about a minute left. Any curiosity with our regional teams? Could we see some movement within the draft, positions they're targeting? Real quick with about a minute to go here, Logan.
I'm going to say the Bills, if they're going to do anything, they're going to move back, try to acquire some day 2 picks. I know fans don't love to hear that because the times that they've traded back hasn't ended in their favor. Example, a couple years ago, trading out of the first to get Keon Coleman, passing up on other wide receiver talent. Pittsburgh, John Leidick mentioned it. I'm going to steal his words. They have the talent to be able to move up. If they want to move pieces, they have the pieces to move up and get I'd say probably another wide receiver. Why not add with DK and Michael Pittman Jr.? Cleveland, 2 first-round picks. It's exciting for them. I think it's got to be receiver and offensive line for them. I think that defense is pretty good with those core pieces. So, I mean, we'll see what they do. Last year they had number 2, traded out of Travis Hunter, the unicorn pick to get Mason Graham. We'll see what this year holds. As we said, rumor time, smokescreen time. You're probably only getting the number 1 overall pick right in your mock drafts. That's all I'll say.
Stuff is going to change, but we'll have full coverage on draft day in Pittsburgh. But thank you guys for tuning in to episode 6 of the 814 Sports Report. We'll catch you in the next one.